Sermon for the 17th Sunday of the year. The Gospel of today has three parables in it. Treasure hidden in a field. Someone finds it, then goes and buys the field from the owner, putting up all his worldly wealth. But then he has a treasure sitting up and sell, and he becomes wealthy himself from it. The story of a pearl found by a merchant. This is the one he's been looking for all his life. Now he's happy. He can sell it and retire with the money. Thirdly, the dragnet cast into the sea. This one should be familiar to us because that's what happens every time a fishing boat goes out to sea. When they haul a net in, there are some fish that are good and will fetch a high price, and there are some that are worthless and they are thrown back into the sea. I remembered a few times that I went sea fishing on holiday when the rod quivered with a bite and you excitedly reeled it in, only to discover on the end of it not a fish you wanted like a shiny mackerel, but an inedible one that you just had to throw back into the sea. This is probably the best parable to think about because that is exactly what will happen to us. On the day of judgment, we'll be sorted out, judged on our lifestyle, rewarded for our good deeds, and hopefully welcomed into our home in heaven. This story is quite brutal in its depiction of the judgment. Our Lord says, "The angels will appear and separate the wicked from the just, to throw them into the blazing furnace, where they'll be weeping and grinding of teeth." Many times our Lord tells people what will happen to them after they die. The famous Beatitudes in St. Matthew's Gospel. I was thirsty, and he gave me something to drink. I was hungry, and he gave me something to eat. In the first reading today from the book of Kings, King Solomon, who was the son of the famous King David, asked God for something. God was pleased that he did not ask for something selfish, like long life, or riches, or overcoming his enemies. He asked for a discerning judgment and a heart to understand how to discern between good and evil, so he could govern better the people who were his subjects. We too should not ask God for selfish things, but for the ability to live a better life as a Christian. The type of religion our Lord was preaching to the Jewish people was a bit different from what they were used to. They had the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, keep holy the Sabbath, etc. But our Lord came along with something a bit better than that, turning the other cheek, the story of the forgiving father and the parable of the prodigal son.